Okay, so our discussion for this day has to speak with diction and redundancy. So first, let us define what diction is. It refers to the choice of words and style of expressions that an author makes and uses in the work of literature. It can have a great effect on the tone of the piece of literature and how the readers perceive the character. So when we speak of diction, this is something that what particular word the author will convey, and this creates an impression on what type of character he or she is. For example, we may consider the following. I am much obliged to you, sir. So this is sound more formal compared with thanks a bunch, buddy. So let's say for this two expression, the sounds of gratitude is more formal from the other half. And both sounds of the place if used in the wrong situation. Wherein when we choose appropriate words, no, so it conveys with to whom we are speaking with. Another examples of diction. Could you be so kind to ask to pass the milk? So it portrays there is something that you are asking for it aside from giving command. Give me that. I regret to inform you that this is not the case versus you're wrong. It is a pleasure to see you again. How are you today? Versus hey, what's up? I'm a bit upset. I'm so pissed off. So here are some of the common examples of diction wherein the delivery of sentence conveys what is the emotion derived out of it. And we can create an image as to what kind of person one person is speaking in the entire content. Now, let us proceed with the significance of diction in literature. The diction in a piece establishes many different aspects on how we read the work of literature, from its formality to its tone, even to the type of story we are reading, just like what I mentioned a while ago. For example, there could be two practically identical spy novels, but one we are privileged to the main character innermost thoughts about the situation, while the other we can see what the main character do. Here on the screen, we have here the example as to Macbeth work. Uh, in this a dagger which I see before me, the handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see. There still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to see as to sight? Or thou art a dagger of mine, as pulse of creation proceeding from a heart oppressed brain. So this is typically part different or it conveys different diction and impression with each other. Versus I have done the deed. Didst thou hear me a noise? Lady Macbeth. I heard the owl scream and crickets cry. Did not you speak? When? Now. As I descended, I. So this diction conveys different type of it. And for example number two, we have there the memoir of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. As we see the content or the text, it seemed to be a careful examination of the room and the lawn might possibly reveal some traces of the mysterious individual. You know my methods, Watson. There are not one of them which I did not apply to inquiry. And it ended by discovering traces, but it's very different ones from which I had expected. So this is has to convey with the proper diction that we can read from these works. And another one, as to the brief of wondrous life of Oscar War by Junot Diaz, his adolescent nerdiness vaporizing any iota of the chance he had for young love, every else going through the terror and joy of their first crushes, first dates, their first kisses while Oscar sat in the back of the class, behind this DM screen, and watches adolescents scream by. Sucks to be left out of adolescence, sort of like getting locked in the closet of Venus when the sun appears for the first time in 100 years. So with this aspect or work, it is highly noted by using a distinct diction in his book. He often sprinkles in Spanish words and phrases in his works to make his characters, many whom are from the Dominican Republic. And in the excerpt of this word, it's very informal language as we can observe, even creating the word nerdliness. So he uses the slang term socks to enforce the sense of the character of Oscar's youth. So it could base that the one that is, or the character behind it is somewhat a youth. And let us now proceed with redundancy. Redundancy means repeating it all over again. So redundancy means superfluity or using of words unnecessarily or using words for the second time around. Redundancy in English should or usually happens when an adjective is added to a verb or noun that means the same thing. So that means that the word in a particular sentence is repeatedly mentioned. So let's say, for example, this office will not tolerate redundancy in this office. So as we read the entire sentence, it conveys that that is redundancy. So we have to correct that. In this aspect, on the example number 1, if all of us cooperate together, we will succeed. So with this example, the word cooperate and together may have been used, but both of this, cooperate is a collaborative effort by individual. Togetherness means they're a group of people. So instead of using these two together, we can drop another one. And instead, to make it right, if all of us cooperate, we will succeed. If all of us work together, we will succeed. So this makes the sentence correct. Another, the accused was guilty of false misstatement. So when we speak of the word mis, it connotes negativity. And we have the false. So this sentence uses false and misstatement, whereas both of these words convey the same meaning. To make it right, it sounds much better if we can use the accused was guilty of misstatement. For the third one, it was the general consensus of the opinion that we must go to see the movie. These two words convey the same meaning as consensus and opinion. One word should be removed to make the sentence a correct one. So to make it right, it was the general opinion that we must go to the movie. And the word consensus is omitted since it connotes similar meaning. Then for example number 4, 3 brothers had nothing in common with each other. So with this sense, the redundant word in here is the use of common and with each other have been used. So means that we can make it right if we correct the sentence into this. The 3 brothers had nothing in common. So much simpler, and it conveys a straight point, it's on point, and at the same time, no redundancy happened. And then another one, we have, I am enclosing here with my bio data. So enclosing and here with, the words are used in the study and it conveys the same meaning. So to make it right, I am enclosing my bio data to make it more good. And then for number 6, there was an ovation when the minister rose up to speak. So therefore, when we speak of rose, it means to stand, it means to rise, and up was used. So in an action wherein you're going upward, so it means that it can be the same thing. To make it better, or to make the word okay or the sentence right, there was an ovation when the minister rose to speak. So that is how redundancy must be observed in terms of creative writing. And here are the references that was used, and that's the end of our topic for this day.